Hello, this is Roman Budek. I'm going to be showing a different way of programming the NXH2280, that's the near-field magnetic induction radio, using the serial wire debug. In the previous video, what we did is programmed it by using a host software on the LPC part. And so what we did is we used the LPC Link 2, connected it up to this port, went through the host processor, the LPC processor, to program then the 2280, which is on the top half of the development board. In this case, we want to program the 2280 directly without using the host interface. So we're still going to use the same connection on our LPC link board, but now go to the top header, which is a serial wire debug for the 2280. There is a in-circuit programming jumper J81. Sometimes you can have a success with the jumper not installed, but it's probably recommended to put the jumper in. What that does, that prevents the LPC processor from booting and allows you to directly program the device. I've had success sometimes with the jumper out as well, but for safety reasons we should put that jumper in so that the host processor doesn't boot at all and we have full control of the serial wire debugging boards. So we're going to program it directly from the serial wire debug. We're going to install that jumper, which is called the in-system programming jumper, J81. You can steal a jumper from one of the other development boards if you should have more than one development board in your kit, so you can steal one of the jumpers and keep all the other ones installed. We're going to connect the LPC Link 2 board to the J12 connection. The jumper positions here aren't really going to matter, but just for clarity, we'll keep them all down. And we'll keep the power switch off, which is the white switch in the lower right-hand corner. We're going to consult the user guide. There is a specific LPC Expresso guide for the NXH2280 called the NXH2280 User Manual. Appendix A talks about using the serial wire debug. Hopefully this video will make it a little clearer how to use it. It does mention that you have to use the NXH2280 EEPROM configuration flash driver file. That should have been in the 80K SDK software kit that you downloaded. If not, it should be available as a separate document on DocStore. If not, ask your NXP sales or FAE team. They should be able to provide that driver. For ease of use, I find out it really helps if you put it into your workspace under LPC Expresso bin flash. Why put it there? Because all of the flash drivers are there. So the next part of the video, as we do the pull down screens, we'll notice that they are all available in the same location and you're not hunting around for those files. Lastly is that you need the right file. Now there's a little bit of confusion because some of the projects create an EEP file, some of them create an AFX file. If it's a standalone software that you wrote and it was not using the host processor, then the directory may very well have only the AFX file. If it has both an AFX and an EEP file, then you want to use the EEP file. If it has both in that directory, what it means is the AFX file is meant for this LPC host processor, and then the host processor does the programming of the 2280. However, many applications now are being written that assume the host processor is not there at all, and so they would have only the AFX. So again, if your directory has EEP, that's just a memory map version of the AFX that means it'll run on the 2280. If you have an EEP in the directory, use that. If not, use the AFX file. The power-up sequence is we are going to go ahead and connect the LPC link board to the device, plug in the USB port, so I'll do that off camera. And I hear the chime, my Windows chime, telling me that a new USB device was found. The red LED found near this connector starts to blink red, or I'm sorry, it doesn't blink, stays a solid red when it first powers up. Now I'm going to slide the white switch towards the through hole, which means towards that mounting hole, which means that that's the on position. I'll see the green LED light up on the development board telling me that it's powered up, and then I will go ahead and run the software for doing flash programming. So again, plug the cable in, that powers up this board, and then power up your board that you're going to program. And now we'll go ahead and do screenshots of the device programming under the LPC Expresso toolchain. workspace loaded up. I've got all my files open for the 2280. And it was set up to do audio. Now I'm going to try to change it to be a different application to load up on the device. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my Flash programming tool, open that up. When I open that up, it'll take a while to initialize my RedLink server. I will notice that the red LED on my LPC link board starts to blink, much like it does for host mode programming. In my box down here, I've got the, if I had opened up the window down here, I would have seen that the RedLink made a connection with the device and it found the SWD connection. This is the Flash driver that I use for programming the host mode. It is different. I have a different driver I have to use, that EEPROM driver. It's already set up in my pull-down menu here for the NXH2280. However, you may not have found it yet, so you would use the Browse button. This is why I said to put it into your LPC Expresso directory into the bin Flash, because now they're all located, and I can go ahead and select the NXH2280 EEPROM file. Now I want to go ahead and load the software that I want to download into it, so I'm going to hit Browse. The default is an AXF file, so nothing shows up here. Again, we want to do the EEPROM file, the EEP, so I'm going to select all. I'm going to select the EEP file for standalone 2280 demo, hit Open, and go ahead and do a Flash program. I will see that the Flash is programming on my device, and when I'm done, I'll be able to verify that all of the Flash programmed by seeing how many pages were programmed. Okay, so programmed, I would have gotten an error message, and I see that finish writing Flash successfully. Everything was programmed on the device. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to power cycle my development board, that white switch in the corner, and I can indeed verify that a different 2280 file is running. I did not reprogram the Flash, so the LCD is still showing the same, but music isn't playing through my device because I just reprogrammed it to be different software rather than my audio demo. If I wanted to go back and do my audio demo, I would again go into my Flash programming. Remember, pull down my EEPROM programming. If you already did it once, it would be here. And then here I would then pull down my file for doing my audio, my demo host, whichever file I wanted to download to it, and be able to re-Flash program it. Any questions, let me know. Hopefully this shows you a different way of programming your boards.